Hello and welcome to Women Speak, a production of the Women's Resource Center in Wayne. I'm your host, Mojdeh Keykhah, and in each episode, I focus on a topic that is of interest to women and the people they care for. This interview is being conducted via Zoom on MLTV Mainline Network. Today, Women Speak is honored to talk with Nahjee Grant, CEO of Daydream Creative Studios, among other do-good ventures. The one thing that drives Nahjee is the ability to give back to his community. He is a philanthropist, motivational speaker, and celebrated storyteller who has shared his amazing life story through books he's authored. Other initiatives include ACES Global Enterprises, LLC, Daydream Creative Studios, World Was Made for You, and The Cool Smart Kid. These organizations promote literacy to children of color in underserved communities by giving them access to books. His journey to become an author and philanthropist is an inspiring one that is a testament to hard work, faith, and perseverance. Nahjee discovered his passion for writing in 2007 during a short story writing course at his high school, the same high school where he repeated ninth grade. He has written 16 children's books. Nahjee, I am so happy that you are joining Women Speak today and that we will be discussing your story of resilience and the importance of persevering and giving back. Welcome to the show.
Nope, I appreciate you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure since we met in person, I guess, a couple of weeks ago to get acquainted, and it's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Nahjee, for taking the time to be on the show today. And we did have a great meeting, a lot of connections there. And I was wondering if you could start with your definition or what you think is the meaning of resilience.
My personal definition of resilience is just, I think we were talking about it before, but just persevering, through any storm, anything that's going on in our personal lives, or even could be professionally as well. You got to see it through. You have to put on that coat of armor of faith, and just no matter what's going on, you're having it bounce off your chest, because you're going to go through things in life. But when you have a passion, when you have a purpose, when you know what you want, you know that no matter what's going on, and it's temporary, and you have to be resilient in order to just get through those things and see it through the end.
That's a remarkable definition that sort of encompasses everything that resilience would stand for. And how do you use resilience in your own life?
Well, starting out, I know you were talking about the personal story, and I thank you for the introduction as well. I appreciate you. But when I was in high school is when I realized how resilient I am or could be. Like again, as you were sharing, I wasn't a very good student academically. I ended up failing my freshman year in high school, and I didn't have a lot of help to get through the cracks and really do well in school, while I was in class. So I had to find it within myself to get myself together. I had to take all my classes that I failed in ninth grade again in 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. I ended up, I got a teacher, or excuse me, a principal that believed in me to give me a second chance, but I had to prove to them and myself that I could be worthy enough to graduate with my class. And the resilience that I had to show to go from an F student to not failing one class at all, and to show that I can graduate with my class without any summer school, without pretty much any help. It was just me. It really showed again like what was inside of me that I needed to pull myself up, be resilient, persevere, have faith, and just do the work personally and academically. And then, now, however many years later, I graduated 2007. Um, there's things that come up every single day, right? That were, thrown left or right, whether it's personal issues, whether it's business, or whether it's, anything, world issues, whatever. The resiliency to say, I have a vision, I know what I want, I need to see my vision come to fruition, and no matter what's going on, what I can see is those are the things that are getting in the way, and be resilient enough to just let those things pass, no matter what's going on, to see it through, knowing that these things will pass because your faith will always take over, overtake the fear, whatever's going on in our immediate lives.
That is truly remarkable that you went through this experience of facing maybe being demotivated and then you were given a second chance. Can you tell me more about that turning point? How was that? What was the context for that?
I mean, a few things. I mean, I tuned out academically. Like, I was always questioning my teachers, like, why do I need to learn this particular history, the science, the biology, things in history? Like, I just didn't understand why I needed to know or learn these things. How do I apply it to real world situations? Um, and again, I just didn't understand it, didn't get it. I also didn't want to get it. And also there were some things personally, that are affecting me as well. Um, but I say, you know what? I'm better off being home. I'm better off being in the cafeteria, in the library, in the hallway, compared to doing my schoolwork. I just lost focus on what was most important to me at that time, which was, of course, taking care of your schoolwork. And that happened starting in seventh grade, and then when I finally got that wake up call, going into 10th grade.
So you were, I think you told me you were faced with two people that had differing opinions about how to help you in the situation. Could you describe that too?
Yeah, so I mean, the first day of school, well, first week of school. So let me backtrack for a sec. So now everything is digital, but I feel like a dinosaur a little bit. But back when we used to get mail, right, saying who's your teacher, here's what you need for the beginning of the school year, school supplies, etc. I got a letter in the mail end of ninth grade for 10th grade stating that I was not eligible for 10th grade, right? And I was without any prior notice that I needed extra help, that I needed to go to summer school or anything. I just got a letter that said, you're not going to 10th grade. So the beginning of the school year, I had a meeting with the ninth and 10th grade principal. And there was my parents were right there, no advocates, no one, just myself and the ninth grade and 10th grade principal. And one of the principals was a little bit more forgiving, right? They're saying like, hey, let's, give him a second chance. Let's figure something out. And the other administrator was not as forgiving and was basically saying like, looking through my grades, look how, look what he look at the results. He might as well just stay back one more year, and graduate in 2008 instead of 2007. And so again, they were playing both sides, and I'm in the middle, like looking like one saying you can do it, one saying I can do it, one saying I can do it, one saying I can do it, and I ended up just using that as motivation to say, okay, if this person gives me a second chance, I'm not only going to prove them wrong, but I'm going to also prove myself right, that I know that I can do the work and I can get past this moment and graduate on time. So, but yeah, I had two principals in their room, and they're both giving me, playing devil's advocate, doing the work, can do the work. Um, but I'm glad I didn't listen to the other one, and I listened to the one that that believed in me.
That is truly remarkable. And I was wondering, you've accomplished so much. You've been an author of so many children's books and you've done these do good ventures. Why do you do what you do?
Well, again, what I graduated when I right before I graduated, my senior year, I took a class for writing short stories, a creative writing course, and I fell in love with that class. You know, it was the only time, really within the 4 years of being in high school that I could be really creative. I mean, I took a web design class as well, but this class, again, I could really just be as creative as I want, creating stories, characters, etc. And it was the teacher that also encouraged me to say, if this is something that you want to do, right, outside of school, sky's the limit for you, right? It was very encouraging as well. And I appreciated that, that push and those extra motivational words as well. And but for me, the one thing that got me through those moments between seventh and 10th grade was the words that my mom and dad used to always tell me when I was younger, and even throughout that moment, even if they didn't seem like I was listening, but I was, that I could do anything to help that the self-confidence. Um, they should tell me all the time that you're made from the best stuff on earth, like you have what it takes to succeed. And I wanted to always put those messages in books for kids the same way that I was received those when I was younger as well. And so the first couple books that we've written, we're talking about, innovation, motivation, again, self-confidence, anything that you want to do in your life, you can do it with hard work, dedication, focus, and purpose, and a vision and having a grand vision for your life. And yeah, so we ended up rolling with that shortly after high school. And again, we're almost 20 books in today, still rolling with the same messages, just sometimes different characters and different stories, but the messages will always be the same.
So you speak about messages and that you're so interested in motivating and inspiring youth. What is an important message for the youth today, especially after the pandemic?
Yeah, well, generally speaking, the the message is, again, your future isn't in front. Your future isn't ahead of you; it's inside of you, right? Like everything that you need, everything that you feel as though you're trying to accomplish is already inside of you. We just need to try to get that out of you, and to be successful. And we always share that a lot of issues that come up that I don't know, whether anxiety, stress, depression. I mean, those things are common in life, but we can minimize those things if you have a clear set vision for your life, right? Like if I said, like for me, surely I didn't mention this before, but right, I graduated the same year that Barack Obama ran and became president, and I was very, very motivated by this person who from Illinois, who's running for president, who looked like me, and representing not just himself in politics, but coming from a community organizing background. And I crafted a vision for my life based on how inspired I was by him and some others. Because having that vision and putting that plan together not only let me know where I was going, but also let me know where I shouldn't be as well. And that's what we also share with the messages and themes and our curriculum with our kids is just that, especially in the pandemic, right? Like having a vision for your life and just knowing that all these things that are going on in your life are temporary, but we have that perseverance, resilience, knowing that you are stronger than you think you are. You're stronger than anyone else may think that you are. You're made from the best off on earth, like I was saying earlier, and that you know a lot of kids from a younger age, we don't focus on having a vision and planning ahead. But we have to, and with us, with our programs, we're always trying to pull the best out of these kids, and just knowing that whatever vision you have for your life, it can happen.
And when you're speaking to kids and trying to pull the best out of them, What kind of mindset is important for resilience to take place?
Type of mindset. Well, one, we're always growing, we're always learning. The mindset that we're always, we're always growing. We'll make mistakes. Not, we make mistakes, but they're learning experiences. Um, but just knowing that the mindset is, I want to say a growth mindset. Is another word that I'm thinking about, but growth mindset is fine. Just having the mindset that um, I can do anything. The mindset that no matter what's in front of me, I can get through it. Pretty much, the mindset that external factors I can't control, but I can also control more than I think that I can. Just the mindset that um, I can and will do great things. We come with these. I share, like when I go to a school visit, for example, that there's kids that don't know. They have an idea. They say, I want to be a celebrity, right? I want to be a rock star. I want to be a singer. Um, so I pull them up on stage and we'll play music and we'll have them sing on stage in front of 500 kids, right? And sometimes they've never done it before in their life. Like the mindset that you can do it no matter how old you are, that you can do it no matter your background, race, color, creed, religion. Doesn't matter. As long as there's someone out there that you know that's doing what you want to do, use them as motivation, inspiration in order to do it yourself and do it greater.
I was just about to say that it's the model of not only what you're providing them, but also what they provide their peers, because the peers see them either in front of the class giving a presentation or on stage singing. So it's really a give back as soon as you are able to demonstrate that resilience and that perseverance.
Yep.
And you talked about mindset, and I'm wondering when you face obstacles, what kind of method do you use to keep resilience strong in your life ongoing?
It's a good question. Yeah, 'cause, I mean, things come up. Excuse me, things come up daily. My method. Well, first having the mindset that I will go into any situation thinking that I can get through it, or then thinking how I can get through it. Right. So I'm working through these things instead of getting frantic, instead of thinking that I can do it, instead of trying to like come up with distractions or excuses. But face it head on. But also just knowing going into it that, like, before you open the door and you go into the unknown, just know that whatever I walk, I open the door, and whatever comes my way, whatever I walk into, um, I can handle it pretty much. Like whatever it is, I'll handle it one way or another. And then just having that mindset and that method, and then just working through these problems, taking them head on, and just knowing that, again, it's just these things they may feel big in the moment, but they're small things compared to what lies ahead once we get past these things.
And you're working a lot with children and youth, and I'm wondering what you see some of the challenges they're facing right now. Have you seen changes after the pandemic?
Yeah, that's a good question as well. There, I mean, now within our work, it's been about 10 years, so we've been obviously pre-pandemic and then obviously post, and the mental health aspect of a lot of kids has been big, that we've seen. Even if someone, actually, we had a couple of parents who were expressing some concerns with their teenagers. Actually, as even last week, from a school district that I was a part of in the past. But yeah, the resiliency that you keep bringing up is a big thing. But social skills has been a big thing as well. Anxiety has been very big issue as well, especially post-pandemic as well. Um, yeah, I would say yeah, out of those three, I would say the anxiety shooting through the roof over the past couple of years.
Do you think that using a mindset of perseverance and resilience could assist in the at least alleviating of some of the stress that the students and youth are under?
Yeah, no, yes, 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 and then one more yes. When you again, when you know who you are, when you know why you're here, right? When you know what you need to do, right? It alleviates a lot of, again, I'm not saying that like wholeheartedly, like you go from 100 to zero. Not maybe for some people, not even me, right? But it can, but it can and it will alleviate a lot of these issues. You can't even people who are, some of these kids who aren't going through these things, right? It helps someone who doesn't just know who they are. Um, and they don't have a vision for their life. There's no goals, there's no motivation, there's no aspirations. And you're just thinking why am I here? Why am I doing what I'm doing? And they're kind of just navigating life, half-heartedly compared to someone who knows why they're here, what they're doing, taking steps every day to achieve goals, and live life to the fullest, within whatever that means to them. Can and will eliminate a lot of these issues. And it doesn't matter what age. Again, like, there's different levels to it, whether I don't care if they're 5, 6, 13, 33, 44, doesn't matter.
That sounds very relevant to what a lot of people are facing, especially post-pandemic. And I'm wondering sometimes even our clients at the Women's Resource Center put a lot of pressure on themselves to get to a place of resilience and perseverance. And I'm wondering if you could speak a little bit about time and timing, turning points, and how important they are, and how important it is to take time to develop these skills.
Yeah, yeah. So we're not talking about anything overnight. I mean, for me personally, in my story, like, when I graduated 2007, I didn't publish my first book until 2013, right? So it took 5 years, well, almost 6 years, right, to figure it out. Um, it takes time, but I'd rather, as we always say, as cliche as it sounds, good things take time. But the most important thing is pinpointing when we're going to start, right? And when we have the mindset, when we're figuring out, taking the time to actually figure out who we are, why we're here, what we need to do to accomplish our purpose, and lead with faith over fear. That can happen again over time, but the most important thing is to start this work, so you can be able to live the life that they want. And at any given point, whether that's research through, just reading books. I don't care if like, everyone has a phone in their hand, and you could, instead of I don't know, lessen social media and some cat videos, and start looking up people who motivate you and inspire you on YouTube, and looking up certain things. Like, when you can always do less of something and do more of what's most important to our lives in order to do better.
That's a very interesting and inspirational forward-looking delineation. So you're saying that you take life one step at a time. At the same time, you allow for your vision to develop and become, more, more, more prevalent to what you want to do already. So it's sort of like following in your own footsteps.
Yeah.
You just don't know it yet.
Exactly. No, yeah, exactly. If you think about it, go to the library every single day, right? Or go to and I'm not judging whether anyone does one way or another, but take an example, go to the library every single day for an hour and read as many books, magazines, and be in the environment of, what the library offers, or go take that same amount of time and go to a club, nightclub, right? Like there's a difference in how your life will change over time by the information and knowledge that you're seeking and gaining from being in two different places, right? So again, like you're saying, over time, just taking the time to figure out who I am, what inspires me, what I want to do, what inspires me to get back to my community, family, personal life, going to the gym. Can't be in two places at once, right? So using your time wisely and constructively to figure out again what works best for me in my life. And again, it's a drawn out process. So it's a lifelong process. But just knowing that you can make the difference at any given time in your life when you make that choice. Just know you're always headed in the right direction.
And we're getting to the close of the program, but I just wanted to give you the opportunity to let us know, since you're so involved in the community, what is your vision for the future?
Yeah, well, my vision. It's a good question. My vision is that everyone, from birth to anyone who's 100 or 99 years old, is living on purpose. Understands who they are, understands where they come from, understands develops a vision for their life, and knowing that they have a lot to offer and they're moving in that direction to fulfill it. That's my vision. My vision is that we are educating as many people as possible and to where they are doing this work. Everyone is made from the best stuff on earth. Everyone is put here to do something great within their lifetime. And my vision is that we are getting that to as many people as possible, and they're living their truth and living their true purpose.
That is incredibly inspirational. And thank you, Nahjee, for being with us and sharing your story on Women Speak today. You gave us so much insight into perseverance and resilience, and it took examples from your own story and what you've been seeing in the community. To our viewers, thank you for watching Women Speak. To learn more about the Women's Resource Center, please visit on our website, womensresourcecenter.net. I look forward to bringing you more in-depth conversations in future episodes. Thank you.